Hello all, I hope you're doing well. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded to this channel for a short while. That's really because I've been spending a bit of time with family, and before that, a bit of time in deep contemplation. I've made it clear on this channel, I like to wait for God's voiceless voice for guidance rather than going ahead on my own steam. That tends to lead to trouble down the line, although very often you'll get riches or women or whatever first, and then you realise, a few months after that, actually, I was chasing the world, not the reality of my heart, the reality of God's will, if you will. But anyway, I have allowed myself to process things for a while, and I'm very pleased to announce I feel the time is now for me to make that move into the group work I've been speaking about. I've got this process called the 7 Steps. It's essentially a sacred initiation into a modern brotherhood of men. It relates to everything I speak about on this channel: the corrosion of modernity, the lack of an aligned tradition, lack of meaning in men's lives in this day and age, and no guidance from a more profound traditionalist understanding, which means we sort of corrode as individuals, but also as a society. Well, this is my version of the remedy for that. And I've been taking my time, just letting the energy build, just fielding some questions from guys, drumming up, seeing where the flavour of the energy is. And it feels like it's time now to go to that next step. So I'm going to hold some free calls in the Saturdays coming up. The first will be on the 26th of this month, and then the next on the 2nd of August. Now, all the information is below. So I've put it on my Substack, a little post just to let you know what these calls are going to be about. Do go and join the Substack if you haven't already. These are free. Not all of the Substack is free. There's some exclusive content for subs, and we have a monthly call for the paid subs as well. That's just for those guys. But this is open to anybody who's a follower of the Substack. So do go down below, have all the info, and make sure you're signed up, because I will be sending mails out about this to make sure you have all the information. Now, as you might imagine, the work I'm talking to here, it's for the real ones. It's for the people who are really driven by this stuff. They really feel it in their heart. They're really looking for the answers. And they really crave that sense of, a deep journey of meaning, something which really marks a shift in their life, a new process of understanding. And we can almost use the chaotic energy of modernity to inspire that growth. As I've said, we need to embrace these processes of death and rebirth. And if we can do that as brothers, it's all the more powerful and important. So really, the 7 steps, which I'm not going to talk too much about here, again, you can go on the Substack and read all about them, are essentially a total revolution of the self, a realignment via lots of rituals. I'm a big believer in rituals because, words evaporate but symbols stay. I used to say, when I used to do this work back in the day with men at the beginning, I used to do it one-on-one. Now I'm doing it group. I used to do men's groups back in the day, but not the 7 steps. But I used to say, if I pour a glass of water on my head in front of you, you will remember that for years. But you probably would forget what I said while I was doing it, because we remember the symbols, we remember the archetypal things. This is why throughout the religious and spiritual traditions, as well as even cultural traditions as well, to be fair, you'll find you have lots of ritualistic behaviour. Even national traditions like dancing around the maypole, is a classic tradition. But then you have the more religious ones, which would be something like, being baptised, going into water, something like that. There are limitless examples, really, but you get what I'm saying. You forget as you get to 70 the day of your baptism and what everyone was saying, but you remember being immersed in the water. Again, it's the symbol that stays with your soul. That's what we're looking for when we're doing this work. Now, again, I should make it out here that, the real aim is to realign with tradition, but I'm not going to be too strict on what tradition people are following. I think it's going to be taken as read, that it's got to be something that is going to fit in with the Western world, and I'm going to use lots of Christian language. I may well also reference other forms and practices as well for reference. But broadly speaking, this is really to try and reawaken this practice that's been lost in the Western world, but so vital for men, so vital, to know where you're resonating from, to be functioning from a center of peace, but also to know where you're headed, to be able to read the world in the correct way and see which is toxic energy and what's not. And I know that for me personally, I've been through these experiences at 30. I'm now approaching 40, which is why for me, I was just sitting on this for a while, because I want to know what life wants from me, What's my next stage? Who should I be? And yet I can think all these things through and do, a life coaching course or whatever. And I'm sure I could get some half decent answers. But I want something that really goes deep into my heart and soul. And that's what I also want to provide for the men out there. So what I'm really looking to do is go to that next stage personally and aid men in having that powerful experience of their own. So this is all linked below, as I say, with all the information for you to learn. And these 2 calls will be free, but do join the Substack in preparation for them. And I'm really, really excited about this next stage. It feels like actually doing something. I know it's not for everyone. That's cool. If all you want to do is watch the videos, check out some stuff on the Substack, yeah, that's fine. But I know, like me, there's some people out there who want to go deep. They want to really learn about this stuff. They're really drawn to it. They feel it in their heart and their soul. And if you're one of those people, then do come along to the call. And I look forward to seeing you there, where you can ask any questions, connect with me. Of course, at that point, it's all king motifs off and all that sort of stuff, king avatars, sorry. And it's getting to know me personally. So I'm very much looking forward to it. Hope to see you there. All information is below, and we'll be releasing more about this in the near future.